If you've been paying attention to the stock market over the last few months, I'm sure you've heard of both AMC and GameStop. Both of these stocks have had incredible runs with over 1,000% return year to date. And it's fueled by retail investors who are primarily targeting stocks that have a high amount of short interest on them. And this is called a short squeeze. And if you want to learn more about that, there's plenty of videos out there. But what we're talking about today is if Beyond Meat is a potential target for the next short squeeze. Because Jim Cramer sure thinks it is. He said that Beyond could be the next meme stock similar to AMC. So can Beyond Meat stock actually short squeeze? Well, let's get into it. Hey, what's up everyone? My name is Chris and welcome back to the Lifestyle Design Show. And I want to say that this video is not financial advice and it's for entertainment purposes only. It's super important to always do your own research before making any investment decisions. So let's first talk about why Jim Cramer is such a bull on Beyond Meat.
Going against Beyond Meat is going against history.
Now, aside from the fundamental analysis that goes into this stock, which we'll talk about later, Jim Cramer believes that Beyond could be a meme stock. And he says this for two reasons. The first is that this stock has a high amount of short interest. And I went ahead and checked this for myself. I went on the website that tracks some of the highest short interest stocks. And what do you know? Beyond Meat is on there with 25% float shorted. Now, I did some research on what is considered a high amount of short interest. And it looks like anything over 20% is considered pretty high. Now, Jim Cramer also believes in the leadership of Beyond Meat, with the founder, Ethan Brown, having a strong mission for the company. So now let's answer two questions. Is Beyond Meat actually a meme stock? And will it go to the moon? Well, let me start by saying that these meme stocks tend to move together. As we saw the AMC Gamma Squeeze, all of the other favorites of Wall Street bets tended to move at the same time. We saw Nokia, BlackBerry, GameStop. They all went up. Beyond Meat is different than all the other meme stocks out there. Beyond has good fundamentals and strong growth prospects. And considering that Beyond Meat had an earnings miss earlier last month, it still might be a good opportunity to get into the stock at a reasonable price. Personally, it's the only meme stock that I'm still willing to buy. Now, considering that this meat alternative company is getting a lot of media attention, and considering that there's a large amount of short interest on it, in the short term, I wouldn't be surprised if we did see some major moves from this stock. But the market is wild. It's up and down, so it's really hard to say what's gonna happen in the near term. There's also a lot of froth in the market right now. So we have to invest cautiously because we don't want to be left as a bag holder losing money. But we also have to be realistic that memes will always play a role in the stock market from here on out because we're in an era of the retail investor. We're in an era where financial literacy and tools for building wealth are democratized for everyone. Let's look at a quick technical analysis of this stock. So when there's bad news or the market is going down, we see Beyond tend to dip at around $100. But looking at the candlesticks, every time the stock does hit about 130 or a little lower, we do see a recovery, meaning that there might be a new support level forming at the $130 price. Now we can also see that the all-time high of this stock was $239 back in 2019. And then again in January of 2021, we did see the stock hit a yearly high of $221. We can also see that in May, there was a big sell-off. And this is because Beyond had a huge earnings miss. Sales fell 26% in the restaurant industry. But you have to consider that that was mainly due to the pandemic shutdowns. The good news is that Beyond did have a 28% increase in retail purchases, meaning that more people are buying Beyond Meat products from grocery stores, which is a huge win. The company also noted that they're working on decreasing prices of Beyond Meat per pound to be cheaper than traditional meat and to rival other plant-based meat companies. There's more good news. Not only are they launching version 3 of their burger, but they're also expanding, primarily in Europe, and they just opened a new production plant in China. Beyond also has an array of other products like their meatballs, which are launching in grocery stores throughout the US. But now let's talk about the critiques of Beyond Meat. And the biggest critique is people say that it's overvalued, pricing at 13 times forward earnings. But just for reference, Google is priced at 25 times their forward earnings. And while yes, Google's profitability is more guaranteed, there is a strong bull case to be made about Beyond Meat, especially when you look at the next 5 to 10 years. I can see the stock potentially 2x, 3x, or even 4xing. Now let's quickly talk about version 3 of this plant-based meat and why it's so good for the stock. And it's because version 3 is the meatiest and juiciest burger they've made yet. It also has B12 in it. The new formula is also supposed to be healthier with 35% less saturated fat. It also has 75% more iron than traditional beef does. But that doesn't have any effect on the flavor, since the company went through extensive testing and found that the burger has a likability score on par with 80/20 ground beef. Another great thing about version 3 is they've been able to distribute fat within the burger a little bit better. So with each bite, you're getting a much more meaty flavor and texture. So overall, this is huge for the Beyond company. So what am I doing? Well, I personally like to dollar cost average into the companies that I have very strong conviction in. And Beyond Meat is part of that. I like to buy and hold. Diamond hands, baby. I also have an automatic purchase order set up. So every week I'm buying $5 of Beyond automatically. Now let's talk about the competition. And the main competition is Impossible Foods. These guys. And while this is another plant-based meat producer, the difference is that Impossible uses GMO ingredients, whereas Beyond likes to keep their ingredients very clean. Now, I will say that most people feel like the Impossible burger does have a more meaty flavor, and this is due to the heme iron that makes the Impossible burger bleed. Now, heme iron is commonly found in regular meat, and it's the primary flavor that people crave when they're eating meat. Now, Impossible is able to create a plant-based heme iron, and they do it by splicing soy protein with yeast, and then they ferment it, similar to how you would ferment cheese. But something to consider is that they do this using genetic modification. And from an investor's perspective, this could be a concern as consumers may be weary to consume GMOs. Not to mention that there was also a lawsuit filed this year in 2021 from the Center for Food Safety against the FDA's approval of this genetically engineered soy protein. They want to see more convincing evidence of the safety of this ingredient. So that's something huge to note about the competition. Tyson also launched their own plant-based meat, sausage, and patties that they say are perfect for grilling. But I'm also not too worried about this competitor because of the psychology that people have for supporting a company like Tyson, which contributes to unethical and unsustainable business practices. You see, as we reopen and food service becomes a higher portion of the revenue for Beyond Meat, something you have to consider is that people have brand recognition, meaning that they'll feel more comfortable knowing that the burger they're eating is a Beyond burger. They know what's in it, they know it's safe, and they know they enjoy it. But the biggest competition that Beyond actually has is the traditional meat industry, which is worth over $2 trillion. And Ethan Brown believes they can take a significant portion of the market cap from the traditional meat industry. And I believe that too. It's also worth noting that there was a huge cyber attack on the meat industry, and this cyber attack happened on Memorial Day of 2021, which caused a full week of shutdowns for slaughterhouse and livestock, causing a 1% increase in the price of regular meat. Now, this cyber attack just goes to show us some of the weaknesses that traditional meat has, especially when rearing livestock. If we continue to see improved revenue every year and we can see them increase their gross margin, I am personally very bullish on the future prospects of this company. It's also worth noting that the plant-based sector is growing. Primarily, we can look at Oatly, which is a Swedish oat milk company. The company Eat Just, which is behind Just Egg, is also looking at an IPO with a potential $2 billion valuation. I love vegan burgers. I love plant-based meat. It's literally the future. And now for the question that you've all been wondering, how does it actually taste? Let me go ahead and cook up a burger and I'll let you know. All right, let's go ahead and give it a try. It's meaty, it's juicy, and in my opinion, it tastes almost just like meat. I want to eat more. All right, so now let's try the Impossible Burger, which is Beyond Meat's major competition. Time for a taste test. That's really good. Oh my God. Oh my God. Have you guys tried any plant-based meats yet? If you have, make sure to let me know down in the comments. Wow, that was so good. So even though Impossible Meat might taste like 0.7% meatier in flavor, in my opinion, Beyond Meat has a better growth outlook because it's made from clean ingredients, people feel safe when they eat it, and the burger still tastes incredible. And I can't wait to try version 3 because they say it tastes even better. So overall, my thesis on Beyond Meat is that it benefits from being both a meme stock and a growth stock, with their products rapidly expanding across the globe, and with people focusing more on sustainability and clean eating. We could tell that this is a trend that's not gonna stop anytime soon. I'm personally super bullish, and it sounds like Jim Cramer is too. So with that said, you guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to demolish the like button, smash the subscribe button. Thanks again for watching. I'll see y'all next time.